Hello people, talking about being a coach here. Really interesting transition. I talked about it of the first episode of the year 2023, getting from the content creator to being the coach that I am today, or just in the transition of being. Today we're gonna get a little bit into what is a coach, a creative coach. The thought create the result. I talked about it in the first episode, and if you want to take a look at it, feel free to do so. If you feel and have the thought that you're never gonna be confident on videos and it's not something for you, and it's something that just others can do, whatever you want to do from that point of view, you're gonna stop yourself from doing a lot of things that you may even enjoy. So from the thought, you get the feeling of just getting into that discouraged type of standpoint, or just point of view, or just feeling in general. You're gonna feel discouraged into not wanting to even pursue whatever you want to pursue. If you want to create impact, being an Oprah, for example, it's all gonna be where you're just gonna feel discouraged. You're gonna see Oprah there and you're gonna see yourself to the opposite of it, even if deep down it's something that you're really dying to do. And from those feelings, you get to act in a way where it's not for you. So you're gonna give yourself a lot of excuses. Too introverted for it, having nothing to say, nothing smart to say. People are never gonna be listening to you. And even if you get to a point where you decide to just be on videos and start using your phone, which is pretty much the first step here, you are gonna do it in a way where you're not gonna feel like you want to be there. And it's even gonna be harder for you. You're gonna make it even more complicated for you, because from the thought of never being able to do it, you feel the discouragement of doing it. So when even you do it, you force yourself to do it. It's not fun, you can't enjoy it, and you see everything that stops you from doing it. And when you get few views, you stop it. When you get one comment, you stop it. When you get somebody even giving any type of feedback, it's just too much for you to handle. And even then, you're gonna talk about things that maybe are not even resonating with you. So it's not about really doing the work of just discovering yourself through creating content. It's all about doing content like anybody else, because you feel like you have nothing to say. Even when you do say some stuff, it's not gonna be aligned with you, and it's just gonna give you bland videos or no videos at all. That's the point of it, where the thought is that powerful. When you get to work with a creative coach, you just start being more aware of it. You start being more aware of that process for you. And everything start to get more slowed down in a good way, where you see how you can change those thoughts to just get to pick one or create one that are powerful for you enough to get to the point of really creating amazing, awesome content wherever you are, whatever platform you have. And if you're creative, you don't even know where to start, and you have a passion, or you don't even know your passion yet, but you're dying to just get deeper into it because it's something that you can make money out of it, or it's just something that people are going to relate to, people can connect to, and you get to build awesome communities from that point, right? You get to meet really people aligned with you, aligned with your values wherever you are. So it's really beyond making money at this point. It's just being able to enjoy something meaningful, something deeper, something that makes sense for you on the long term, right? So that's the value of a coach. And now when we get deeper into what it is a coach for you, or just being a creative coach, and what it is to work with a coach, right? One of the good things of working with a coach is just finding easy for you to press record on your phone or on your camera if you do have one. I see a lot of people making up excuses into just never starting it, even if they're dying, they want to be on videos. The moment between contemplating the idea and actually pressing record, right? And when you get to work with a coach, you understand that it's all about deciding to do it in the first place. Whatever happens next is something that we get to work on. Whether it's just picking a strategy for you, getting more confident in the thoughts of being on videos, and really creating something a lot deeper, right? And whatever comes from that is really you deciding, right? And really being aware of it, being aware of those thoughts, being aware of the process that I talked about before. So when you get to be on videos, it's a matter of deciding it in the first place and doing it again and again and again. But the point of just deciding it can be very much overwhelming for some people, right? And sometimes they can start and then they stop and then they feel themselves not being consistent and then they give up because they just feel discouraged. They judge themselves even more, less and less them showing up and more making up excuses because of it. So when you get to work with a creative coach, there's no excuses. It's all about deciding and going along with those decisions in the first place. So it's taking the responsibility of it and being aware of the fact that you are in control. There's not going to be somebody in the dark trying to just literally knock you out of it, right? It's just you deciding, and every challenge comes with a solution and you get to be more aware of it. And with that, you're building the mental stamina. I think at some point I need to talk more about the mental stamina, because I do believe that confidence is really building up a mental stamina. It's not about sitting somewhere and dreaming about whatever you want to do. It's about doing it and build up on failures and anything that you're encountering along the way. Next thing you get when you get to work with a coach is to get to really come up with ideas and unique ideas more and more consistently. Not only they get to be just more aligned with you and more unique, but you get to do it in a more consistent basis. Because when you're creative, or when you get to create, when you get to really feel that thing of the creation, there's something unique about just creating, because you're interpreting and you get to find layers and layers of the world that you can just interpret to your own eyes, and doing it more and more in such a unique way, more and all the time. At the same time, when you do it when you feel inspired. I have this book, it's called Big Magic, Elizabeth Gilbert, and she's the author of Eat, Pray, and Love, for those that know. It's a very interesting book because it's all about really getting to find ideas, really getting to understand the flow of your ideas, the flow of your inspiration, the journey to just creating more and more ideas. Very more into the magic sense, but I think it's all about the thoughts again here, and really creating that set of thoughts for you. When you get to create more content, create videos, and really show up that way, you get to find even more ideas, because you get to connect with people, you get to talk to people, get to find lessons through other people's stories at the same time, and you get to connect them with you at some point and really find a way to bring it to people and really make people discover people like you and you as a person in another dimension. So the more you get to come up with ideas for your content, the more you find it more and more easier again and again and again. I've been creating content for over 10 years, and it takes me less and less for me to create content. Why? Because my brain just is already pre-wired for it, because I did it so many times before. And it's not magic. It's just a set of practices and a set of thoughts. When you get to come up with ideas more and more consistently, you start trusting yourself and those ideas more. You get to be more productive, because from ideas, you get more ideas, you find more ideas. And you just start realizing sky is the limit. For me, when I just leave the door open for ideas, I find one, which leads me to another one, which leads me to another one. And sometimes I find myself, I think I have the brain where it's like, I don't even know how to explain it, because it's like a machine. I can think about 10 ideas at a time. And I really find it hard sometimes to even structure it, because I'm going to start talking about one idea, and then I'm going to start talking about the next idea, and then the next, and then the next, and then the next. And it can be in one conversation where I can lose people, which is not a good thing either, by the way. But with time, when you start creating more of them, you start structuring them a little bit more better. That's something that I'm doing again and again, and that I have to do again and again, because I have just way too many ideas sometimes. It's either I don't, or I have too many of them. But when you start creating the space for you to just create those ideas, it's all about just writing them down first and not having to use them from the moment you have them. Something that is not easy, I have to say. When I work on projects with my clients, to start, sometimes I feel like there's nothing comes out of it. And then one comes, and then the second, and I'm like, what? I have to just slow down. The last project that I did, which is I think a continuation of a project that I worked on before, it took me a while to come up with something that I could actually create. But when I sat down and then ideas started running to my brain, it was something that I just couldn't see the end of. When you get to create ideas, working with a coach is magic because we talk about it. We have a conversation about it. And the point for me is to ask you questions to get deeper and deeper and deeper. I have one of my clients, we started working together. She had no idea what she wanted to do. She just had a passion about style and just get to share her outfits online, inspiring people that way. And the year after, and I'm kidding you not, the next year, she got to start sharing her cooking recipe and really find a way to bring Cameroonian foodies or just Cameroonian snacks, because she's from Cameroon like me. She got to bring Cameroonian snacks and start just sharing it more and more to the point of making a business out of it. And today it's very, very, very popular. I can tell you she's making money out of it, definitely. And that started with the idea of just being a stylist. And this is where you see that it's not because you're starting with one thing that you have to finish with the same thing. I started my YouTube channel with just the passion of editing videos. We're focusing on me loving Japanese pop, Korean pop. Back then when nobody knew about it, I would share it. I would edit videos on those songs way before there was no copyright as well. There was no copyright at all. To be honest, it was a good time to be honest. And I used to share so much of it that it gave me the idea of actually showing up online, showing myself online, right? And at first I was very, very scared of it. I was very scared of it. And then I started doing it. And I really started enjoying it more and more. And then I started sharing more of the style, more of the fashion part, and really discovered that I wanted to get somewhere deeper, where it was all about the self-confidence. It was all about dressing up as a way to just build more confidence around it. And I got deeper and I got deeper. And after that, I started sharing more of my tech gear geeky side on videos on YouTube, what it is for you to be on YouTube, what kind of gear you can use, and so on and so on. And then it was all about the creation process, editing videos for people and really showing more how it's powerful to edit videos, how you can convey a message through a video, the way you edit them, the way you just building a story around them, right? And I'm at a point today where I'm being a coach, coming from a content creator point of view or content creator place. So there's so many steps that it's not up to you to decide where you want to end, but it's up to you to decide where you want to start. I do find ideas being something that is dynamic. I do believe into creativity as something very much dynamic. It's a dynamic process. You let it go, like Frozen. The inspiration of the year. I'm sorry. I had to think about it. Let it go. It's like literally let it go. Because the more you hold on to them, the less they're gonna get creative. Let the process just flow again and again and again. Working with a creative coach, the more the coach is gonna ask you a question, the more you're gonna get deeper and the more you're gonna get the awareness of it. Simple as that. And the more it's gonna get to the surface. We have a lot of ideas sometimes, but sometimes they're very much deep and they are not necessarily clear for us. And it's by talking about it, it's by really asking powerful questions, which a coach is gonna do for you, that you're really getting them to the surface. And a creative coach, the person that I am, I've been there, done that multiple times. So I see where the brain can go when it comes to the creativity of it. Any question is gonna make it go to the surface for sure. But you have to trust yourself and you have to trust your answers for that. Because sometimes you can find an idea and be like, I'm not sure. You have to trust that idea and just try it first, get it out of the way to get to the next idea. And the major issue that I see some of people run into is that they stick to one idea and they never try it, so they can't discover any other better idea. As a process here of working with a creative coach to just get to be more creative, more inspired, more consistent at it, and really create a system for it. The next thing for a creative coach is to make you be more resourceful, especially on social media with any platform you're using. I do believe that for me, when you get to trust your thought and your brain the most, you can be good in any type of platform. Even if you have platforms that are dying, because YouTube is at a point where it's solid enough for me to trust that enough to even produce and create more content on it. You have other platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and any other platforms in between where it's really relying on short videos, the reels. And that's something that is very popular because you can't just forget about reels. You can't forget about short videos, vertical videos. It's something that I do believe that it's something that everybody, or just a lot of people, can do. But it doesn't mean that because you don't do that, nobody is going to notice you. Nobody is going to notice your content. I do believe that whatever you do, it's all about your thought. It's all about your confidence. It's all about your brain. And because of it, it just gives you a way to be more flexible, because tomorrow you can have YouTube dying. What are you gonna do? If you're relying yourself so much so on just one platform and the power of that platform, rather than just focusing on you being resourceful, you're just gonna die with YouTube at the same time. Because you can't trust any platform to be there forever and never and never. It's just not a point. There's no point for it. YouTube can die tomorrow, Instagram can die tomorrow, and any other platform in between. What are you gonna do then? You need to find a way to be resourceful. So getting to be good at editing vertical videos, short videos, or just videos in general, for me, it's just not enough anymore. Because everything is changing, and the year we're going in, 2023, we have a lot of things that we can be uncertain about, right? We have a list for it. We could rely on a couple of things years ago, and we just can't do that nowadays. So I do believe it's all about your brain. It's all about what you can do when you have a challenge and how resourceful you can be. So if you want to show up on videos and using YouTube for it, so be it. But the way you're gonna work with a creative coach, it's really about thinking about how you can find solutions, how you can be flexible, adaptable to any platform you have online. You can start a podcast and have the same influence. Be as influential if you know how to do it. And managing it is not about the strategy, it's about the mindset as well. You can have the best strategy and still give up from the moment you have a thing in between and you have an issue in between. If you don't have a camera, you can be like, oh, I need a camera to actually start YouTube. If you do have a phone, I need to have a more powerful phone. I need to have a fancy phone. If you have none of that, oh my God, I have nothing. What can I do? But you have to think about, oh, maybe you have a mic. Maybe you have just your phone. Maybe you can go at the library, I don't know, a room, or just ask a friend to borrow something. Like, there's so many things when you just live in possibilities more than anything else. And when you get to be resilient like that, I've had moments where the only thing I could rely on was my old camera that my dad offered me as a gift that I had way before. My first couple of videos actually were with that camera. I didn't buy a camera for the purpose of being on YouTube. Never. I bought one when I saw that I really enjoyed it. And then I could get to have something a little bit more, I guess, more tech. When I started discovering my own passion for anything techy when it comes to camera, like my geeky side when it comes to camera. But I did none of it before. I started with what I had on my hands. And when I couldn't do anything else, I just used what I had on my hands. I didn't have any specific lighting. I didn't have anything where I was like, I need this light. No. I didn't have no mic when I started. And actually, when I watch my videos, I'm like, gosh, I could see everything that I didn't have because I have them today. I learned along the way. So sometimes you don't need to learn everything in order to start. You just need to start and then learn along the way. That's being flexible. And I'm telling you, 2023 for me is all about being flexible, adaptable. So when you get to work with a creative coach, it's all about being flexible, because you just can't rely on any specific platform. You can rely in a specific strategy. And that leads me to the next thing. It's all about the strategy here. And working with a creative coach, you get to have a formula. Yo, I'm French first, so sorry, not sorry. You get to have a formula that works for you and your own personality and your own context, specific context. So you don't get to work with general formulas, because I do believe that everybody has that specific thing that they maybe want to develop, but any general strategy might not work for them. When you get to have a one-on-one coach, we can actually work on to creating a process that works for you based on what you have, how do you want it to look, and where you want to start from there. You get to decide. I hope it was really inspiring. I had fun talking about it. What is the thing and the difference, especially between like being a content creator and being a coach? It's really something that I'm starting discovering more and more, and it's a year for it. If you're listening to it, definitely give it a review, follow my podcast. If you're watching it, well, you know what to do. Follow, give it a thumbs up, and I'm gonna see you soon for my next content. And like I say all the time, smile, because it's free and contagious in a good way. Bye!